10:10 a.m. on this May 28th, 2020. Hello, I'm Jason Reese, and welcome to Good Morning Batavia. Jason Reese media presentation. Live from the city of Batavia, New York, here at 400 East Main Street, room 329, on this partly cloudy Thursday morning. A lot of news to talk about. SpaceX never launched yesterday. They were scrubbed because of rain. The fallout from the George Floyd investigation has gone to rioting and burning down and trashing police cars, what you usually see in these type of situations, by the way. And there was a tractor trailer and police shooting in Geneseo. I guess they killed the driver. We'll go to the monitor and check it out later on. But it just goes to show you that there's no boundaries to crime. You know, everyone thinks they have the greatest this, the greatest that. You really can't say that. Because if you had the greatest this, greatest that, these acts would not be taking place. End of story. And we all know how that would end. Remember, there's not too many birds that commit crimes, unless to other birds. They don't rob banks. Same with dogs or anything else. The only way you can really lessen crime is to get rid of the human element. That's it. Period. Say anything you want to say. You can say it to the troops, the veterans, the cops, Jesus, but we know the facts. Man, there's no doubt about it. Once you get rid of the human element, you're not going to have these type of actions. Plain and simple. But I can't see, well, with President Trump in office, anything's possible. He's actually pissed off at Twitter because they fact-checked him. Now Mark Zuckerberg's going online saying you shouldn't fact-check politicians. If Twitter wants to fact-check you, they have every right to. It's their company. They're not a government entity. So unless they break the laws, what do they call that stuff? I can't think of it. I can't think what it's called nowadays. You always hear about companies having to go through it. But anyways, as long as Twitter says, hey, look, if you're on our site, you have to follow our rules. Doesn't matter if you're Jason Reese or the president of the United States. You still have to follow Twitter rules. He got caught. He got violated, but they didn't erase his account. They just warned him. Now he's angry, saying he's going to executive actions to come up with new rules and regulations for social media. It's going to be a tough thing to do because it might take him to a courthouse. But they're going to tell him the same thing everyone else is saying. If you don't like what's going on Twitter, don't tweet. Go somewhere else. It's fine. Hang on a second here. I got to get a new piece of tape. Nothing wrong with that. I have to follow the rules. He has to follow the rules. We all have to follow the rules. That's what happens. There we go. Let's try that again. Let's go in here. There we go. So that's what's happening in and around the area. I've been doing a lot of job hunting. Part of the requirements when you collect Social Security, you have to job hunt. So I had updated my resume, went to New York Jobs Online. So when they say, are you job hunting? Yes, I am. But right now, I'm in a lull because of the coronavirus. This isn't your regular unemployment. Phase 2 starts next week. We should be getting a call from the Salvation Army Family Store where I work, and they're going to say, yes, you can come back to work, or they're going to say, no, we're not going to open. So that's one of the reasons why I'm job hunting. So I'm job hunting in Buffalo, Rochester. I filled out an application in Medina. So I'm trying to get around this area just in case. Now, one of the reasons is my rent's paid up until August. When I get back today, I'm going to send in my September rent, and hopefully I can purchase an automobile. And that way, if I have to go a distance to work, I'd be able to. And we'll see what happens there. So I'm going to go get the monitor ready. We're going to look at the story from Geneseo. We're going to look at the George Floyd story. And you're watching Good Morning Batavia, and I'm your host, Jason Reese. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. All right, here's the story about the looting and all. So we'll go to Facebook. See what notifications we have. Scott Zimnicki. Scott lives out in California from Western New York. Jerry Marshall, what's your comment? The correct people are protesting, and we'll go to that in a second. Crime and violence has no limits, and let's see what's going on here. George Floyd protests in Minneapolis get violent. President Trump will sign an executive order on social media today. And the owner of the Missouri bar slammed for packed Memorial Day weekend pool party speaks out. The correct people are protesting while others are stealing. Big difference between the two, and that is very true. People who are protesting aren't stealing. The other ones are just taking advantage of what's going on. Let's go up here quickly. There are a bunch of stupid a-holes. So protesting violence with violence, this is not the way. Kaepernick is doing it right, kinda. Our troops don't deserve that either. Well, this has nothing to do with the troops. Neither did Kaepernick's. Kaepernick's has to do with black men being murdered by police officers. But what they're saying is that the NFL players, their protest during the national anthem is harmful to the troops, which it's not. It's actually quite very effective. It got your attention, I'll tell you that much, and it was done legally, and that's all that matters. So let's see. Let's go to New York labor. See if we can find it over here quickly. No, not here. All right, we should be able to find it in full history. What I did was I put my computer on safe mode. So now when I look for adult images, they're not there. Thank goodness. Which I have nothing against adult images, by the way. But I don't want them on my show. So in Monroe County, if you have a master's degree, they have job openings in journalism. There should be more than that in Monroe County, though. Believe me. So let's see what we have here. Adjunct faculty communications. I wish I had my degree. Might have to call Brockport. earned master's degree in communication and communication rhetoric, mass communication, media studies, journalism, da 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 da. I only have an associate's degree, so I cannot apply for that job. But that's what you have to do. Let's see what else we have. Remote jobs. Remote means you can sit at your house and do it. No results found matching. Okay. Let's try something else. Social media. Social media. Let's try this now. Social media. Come on. I didn't say social and media. I said social media. Big difference. Put a period at the end. See if that makes a difference. Nope, same thing. It's ridiculous. But this is one of the things you have to do when you collect Social Security. Unemployment. Nothing wrong with it, by the way. Again, adjunct Monroe Community College. Monroe Community College. So I don't have those degrees. So let's see what we got in Buffalo. And remember, since Batavia's in the Finger Lakes region, not the Western New York, you might find something different. Nothing. Okay, let's try something else. Try something off the cuff. Editor. Nothing. See, something's not right at all. 100 miles. Yeah, something's wrong. Search New York jobs. Prep cook, Buffalo, nah, it's okay. Baker, nah, it's okay. See, what you do is you actually go down job for job. That's what I'm doing. But these aren't the jobs I want. I want a remote job where I can sit at home and work on a computer. And I don't have a car anyways, so hard for me to get to and from. Costs $30 just to go one way to Buffalo, so that ain't happening. So that's what you got to do when you collect unemployment. So that's going to be it for Good Morning Batavia for today. DeAndre, someone mentioned me in a comment. Let's see what we got here. None of this would have happened if this man wasn't murdered by a police officer. That's very true. So that justifies these animals burning and looting hardly. They are just looking for a reason to say, we know that. But we also know this wouldn't have taken place. That is a fact. I'm not justifying it. I might as well let them know that. This has happened since Rodney King. And there you go. I'm also seeing another side of this story. Seems like the people who are all for this type of behavior from the police officers always say, well, they're burning and looting. Well, what would you expect? What would you expect? This isn't the first time this has happened, so you got to balance it on both sides. But that's it for me for today. I'm heading up to Roxy's music store, getting some strings for this guitar and getting a tuner and see if I can start learning how to play acoustic guitar. Anyways, for Good Morning Batavia, I'm your host, Jason Rees. Have a nice day and see you tomorrow. Goodbye. And that's it. I gotta get a light on my left side. So that's another set. I'm not worried about that right now. Anyways, that's it for Good Morning Batavia. I'm Jason Rees. Have a nice day. Goodbye.